I've got everything set up here now to weigh the plane. I've got, of course, my hoist and my spreader bar set up here on the front, and then I rigged up a come-along back there on the back. I'm not going to be able to lift it up back all the way on the tail. The way they normally weigh these airplanes is you put a scale underneath each wheel, and you have to bring the airplane up into level flight attitude, same thing that we did to rig everything with, and then weigh all 3 points. Well, I don't have those kind of scales, and I don't have a tail wheel, so I'm going to use a hanging scale. So I've got my come-along set up back there to pick the airplane up. There's a lifting handle back there in the back of the airplane for one on each side, and I'm going to use one of those to pick the airplane up back there. And then, of course, like I said, my lifting eyes up here in front. Well, I've got it all set up to do that now, and I've got a scale on there. And this is a scale that I bought. It's not certified, so I've set it up already, and I've tried it out, and it's working. So I can okay, so now the airplane is suspended. I have to wait till it quits moving. Well, I've got everything all set up. I've got the engine on, oil in the engine, the propeller, the spinner. I just put the air cleaner in there. I've got all the stuff inside that goes in there on the airplane, all in position there. I've got my fairings put where they go on the wings, inspection covers back there on the tail, and their approximate positions or their actual positions. I've got my door, upper door half, and my lower door half in the place where they go, so all of that's going to be right. Everything is out of the airplane. So right now, just lifting on this, I've got 1,184 pounds, but that doesn't tell me anything because I don't have the fuselage level, and that's just one weight, and this is not a certified scale. And I want to take off my landing gear stuff off of there too and get that dead weight off of there. So I don't know how much weight that is total, probably 50 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and let this back down, and I'm going to change over. I borrowed a couple of certified hanging scales from one of the local fish processing plants, Tonka Seafoods. They do a real good job of making canned smoked salmon and canned salmon. So if you like smoked salmon or canned salmon, you can look them up on the internet. They sell over the internet, and they ship everywhere. It's a great company. It's owned by a guy I've known for years, a friend of mine. Our kids went to school together. My youngest son and his son competed against each other in wrestling and track and everything else. They were friends from grade school. Anyway, they're a real nice guy and a real nice company. So I want to go get those scales that I borrowed from him. Like I said, they're hanging scales. They're certified, so they'll give me a certified accurate weight. I'll get those set up here and replace this scale of mine, and I'll see how accurate it is when we get done here. Well, I've got my gear all unattached from the front here, and the stand is unattached from the back, and I got it jacked up in the back. We put a level on the window post over here, or the windowsill over here, and got the airplane raised up to level attitude. And there's the scale up there. Let's see if we can see that. 1,126 pounds here on the front. Cool, that's good. And we got the back. And as I said, we got the back. I've got the stand out from underneath the back of it. And there's the scale up there. You can see it's hooked up to a come-along up to the roof rafter. And that says, oh, you can't read it maybe, I don't know, 23 pounds. So that's good. Now I'll have to figure out the distance from the datum line there, where the datum line is the front of the wing, back to where that strap is hooked up, which is right in the front of that handle right there, and the handle on the other side. Now this fuselage, when we had it made, we had handle put on each side, which is kind of standard for these guys anymore, so you can get two people to pick up the back end. It's real common when you're operating in the sand or in the snow. Helps a lot to have two hands to pick that back end up. So there it is, all weighed. Now we're all done. Took longer to get the stands out and stuff than it did to do the weighing, and the airplane is stable as it can be. Those scales are just as stable. They're not fidgeting 1 inch. Those are certified scales, and we got
the certification.
certified weight. Well, I don't need a picture of the certification. So now we got to put it all back on the stands so that I can take the scales out of there, and then I'll have to hoist it again to slide the floats underneath it. That's the next step, is to slide the floats underneath it. So we'll get it all back together. Right. There's what it looks like all hoisted up. Now I guess we'll let it back down. We got the stub gear back on it and it back down on the ground. Got the scales off. They're on their way back to Tonka Seafoods with a couple jars of jelly for payment. Got the hoist hook back up here on the front. I don't know whether I'm going to need it on the back or not, but I've still got the come along back there. Oh, anyway, the next step is to slide the floats underneath there and start fitting those up. I had to do a little work on my pickup first. I had to flush the radiator out, so I've got to go ahead and finish flushing that out, get it set up so my pickup is running, and we can bring the floats over here and start getting ready to put them on.